We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's
he jumped into it.
His corner judge is good for 1, 2, dip. He needs more.
they're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in. Joy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
https://twitter.com/Septilence. Don't put that in. I'll get in trouble. So that's worth it. Did I get too close to the camera on that one? Oh, should I back up a little bit? Okay, sorry about that. My bad. I've been awake for probably close to 32 hours. Like, I have to hold my keyboard the normal way, because if I do it, I feel like I have arthritis and I hold my keyboard like that. It blows my mind. I can never do that. This guy right here, he's got his keyboard off at an angle. His isn't that extreme. There's a kid all the way down on the far end who has his keyboard all the way at a horizontal.
That's really cool.
They're going to be at that table right over there.
Public information?
Oh, I don't know. This isn't live, so it doesn't matter.
It's not live, but you and I know.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not gonna tweet it.
Awesome. What game do you play?
Smash Bros.
Who do you play? Is it embarrassing? Is it like Villager?
Yeah.
Is it Villager? Am I spot on? Oh my god. Is it the Ice Climbers?
No.
Is it Game & Watch?
No.
Is it Pichu?
No.
Is it Wario?
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's
he
gonna
jumped into it.
His corner judge is good for 1, 2, dip. He needs more.
they're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in. Joy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting night of college esports right here on Esports U Live. I'm your host, P Hype, Paulie Hype, Paulie Wally, woo! And we are here for the last chance qualifier. That's right, we are rounding out the week here. All throughout Monday to Thursday, we have seen teams give it their all with over, I believe it was 127 or 135 colleges around there that entered the last chance qualifier, competing across Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rocket League, Overwatch, and Valorant. And they're competing for the most coveted prize in college esports. A bid to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup down at Esports Stadium, Arlington, May 7th and 8th. Woo-woo! I cannot wait. The largest college esports tournament of the year. So far this week, before we get into tonight's action, I'd love to give you all a quick recap and just explain who's qualified in the different games so far. First up was Overwatch 2, where we saw Maryville University qualify in the LCQ. They'll be joining us at CECC Texas May 7th and 8th. Next up, we saw Rocket League have an amazing grand final where both Indian River College and West Virginia University have qualified and will get extended bids to CECC Texas. Well done, Maryville, Indian River College, and West Virginia University. We'll see you down at CECC Texas. Now, on to tonight's action. Off stream, we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. For their top 4 teams left in the tournament, we'll have the Illinois Orange taking on Fisher Spring and Winthrop taking on Longhorn Smash. So 4 amazing Smash clubs and teams there will be going at it off stream. Now, for the Esports U main channel action, we have the Valorant Grand Finals. That'll be coming up next at 9 p.m. EST, and it'll be against the Dark Knights taking on Dark Knights. They're from UCF. They're representing themselves, but they're from UCF. I'm happy to see them all the way here in the grand finals for Valorant. That would be something if they qualified, but they have a tough school in front of them. Hailing up there from Canada, Alberta, we have the UAESA Green, which is from Alberta, and it would be amazing if a Canada school made it once again to the CECC through the LCQ. That'll be casted by none other than Catinator and Vincent. Love when we got the Esports U family of talent on the mics here for this one. So, before we get over to that Valorant Grand Finals, we got to hype it up. It's Friday night. I don't care. We bring it in college esports in the very best way we know how to, right here at the Last Chance Qualifier. So, it's time for the 10 seconds of hype. Woo! Get this jacket off me. It's too small anyway. It's choking me. Get this off. No ties. I hate them, but I love college esports. And we are here for the very best colleges in the country. This isn't a zip chair. Get it out of here. Woo! It's time for Dark Knights UCF and UAESA Green Alberta, casted by Catinator and Vincent Casters. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Paulie Wally. I'm Catinator. That's Vincent. Welcome to the CECC Last Chance Qualifier Valorant Grand Finals. We started off 2 days ago with 55 teams. Vincent, we're down to just 2.
That we are. It's going to be so much fun to get started. Quick correction, though. It's actually May 6th and 7th, not 7th and 8th. Sorry, Paulie. Just a slight adjustment, but this is going to be interesting because this U Alberta squad, Cat, has been on a bit of an interesting fairy tale type of story. They sort of lost all of their finals. They played in 3 finals, and unfortunately, they lost all of them last semester. They made one change coming into this semester, and I'll be honest, it hasn't been great. They lost in the round of 32, both CVAL Spring and CVAL Winter, and then they've dropped a map to a SJ's DC team that's not particularly great in NECC, and they lost their regional to the St. Clair Saints. They've been on a run of bad form, but here, now, U Alberta, they have come to play, and I can't wait to see what they do tonight.
Neither can I. They've come to play, and throughout this bracket, they've come to play on a multitude of different maps as well, really showing a bit of strength when it comes to the counterpart. The Dark Knights, a team that has played pretty much consistently over at Ascent in Haven, but consistently have found wins on those 2 maps. And when we talk about day 1 being those 5 best of ones back-to-back, right, it makes sense to play maps that you feel strongly on. And speaking of which, let's check out what the set list looks like for tonight. 1 best of 3 to rule them all.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because, well, we have Pearl and Fracture in the same map pool, which I feel like very rarely happens.
Yes.
And so that for me is going to be a little bit of fun. That said, Alberta defending on Pearl first, picked out by the Dark Knights, and then U Alberta bringing us over to Icebox for our second map, and then Fracture is the decider. And what's interesting is that the Dark Knights elected to go to Fracture over Lotus, which I find a bit interesting considering that we really haven't seen U Alberta on Lotus. But the one game that was played on Lotus for the Dark Knights was against Mizzou, and that's the one that they lost.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So definitely makes things interesting. I think even the fact that we get to see Pearl come out with their team that does have a win on Mizzou on Pearl, but is playing an opponent that has wins twice now in the bracket on Pearl. So to come into what is technically a disadvantageous map in terms of stat lines based off of what are limited for this Last Chance Qualifier bracket, I think at least coming out the gate in this map select, U Alberta have just an inkling of an advantage, but it's all about what happens on the map, right? So we'll see what this team wants to do here, and I'm hoping it's something interesting.
Yeah, I would agree with you that maybe just by default, because of the amount of time put in for U Alberta on these maps specifically, that they have a slight edge in the map pool, but I think when it comes down to it, this is a bit of a toss-up, a coin toss as we get the confirmation here on the agent select. Dark Knights heading into this one with a Harbor. We talked about it just 2 days ago when you and I were seeing Pearl, and we agreed. Harbor, a lot of fun to watch on this map specifically.
Yeah, This is a comp they're very used to playing as well. They like to play the double controller. For those who weren't with us on day number 1, the big point was Harbor pretty solid when it comes to isolation, but you almost certainly need that second controller to really let him shine on the execute. So they're going to have that look, and when it comes to conditioning, going with the Viper. So the double controller look going to come through. We've seen them play it before. We've seen them win off of it. So they'll bring it back, and I expect it to be successful.
Yeah, I too would expect that. But there is one thing to note here, and that is that Alberta, they had the opportunity to play both UBC and Texas A&M on this map, and they beat both of those teams here in the run to get to this point. So they've had a little bit more experience on this map over the last 3 days. I don't know if that's going to end up being the end-all be-all, but I do think it matters.
We'll see who comes away with this one. The series very much mattering as we're going to walk down early for the Dark Knights. Looking to go towards B. Donald throw a deep nano swarm. They've got space early into sight. All this room. In fact, Cascade going to push him forward with all the extra space. Pajko going to trade one back. It's nade for nade for the first 2 picks of this one. Spacing going to be here for the Killjoy. Isn't enough, though, behind the high tide, and it is enough to guarantee the frag. Velocity going to pick up one, put Scotty in just a bit of a pickle, and he'll recognize. He'll head away from that one. Secondary Cascade to come through us. Witter good to pick up another frag. Encroaching still will be the retake. Scotty, another pick, traded back as his teammate, and all to do now for the Harbor. Can't quite get it done. A 4K for the Killjoy. Alberta on the board first.
And, I mean, they really kind of flipped the script there, didn't they? Essentially attacking back onto the offense whenever they got the spike planted. Immediately, Dark Knights were trying to take that space. Scotty's so far forward, and in essence, that's a good idea, but when that didn't work, the flank coming in made life miserable for the Dark Knights trying to defend that site. And so, Alberta will take that first round. And we got 3 Guardians on the field. This is an aggressive purchase. There's no SMGs here for Alberta. And that's a little bit uncommon, I'd say. Though the Guardian, certainly at this long distance, is quite effective towards the B-long area.
Oh, you bring that up. I was about to say the same thing. I think on the defensive end, on a map that has so many deep sight lines, these could be very efficient, not just in this round, but in the bonus if they're able to convert them all out. An example right there. Velocity, a nice early look. The Bulldog out barking a 3-piece for Hyper early into this one, and just KVS now remaining. As these pseudo rifles have done their due diligence. Low through the box, the Guardian going to find a couple tags of armor penetration. And it's only a matter of time for this one's wrapped up. That'll close it. The B-site players, all the frags.
And just as you said, right, with nobody going down, this will be a hell of a bonus round. You got a lot of firepower into this one. You know, and the other side of that, I mean, props to Hyper, who was farming up a few frags there long range with the Bulldog. Newest member of this team, picked up at the beginning of this semester, I mentioned. Hasn't had the most success as a squad since that changeover in the new semester. But here, they've just been unstoppable. I'm wondering if all of the pieces are finally coming together for this University of Alberta squad.
Velocity close range. Poke and prod. We'll get a bit of damage there. Not enough to take the Viper down, but a lot of damage to one of 2 controllers. The offensive side. High tide going to give them spacing, and Pajko wants to head to the back of the site. Double satchel a bit whiff. That blind certainly didn't help. Plant does go down, though.
Well, but what that satchel does do is remove all of the utility that the Killjoy had put into place to deal with any players moving in. Pajko, though, going to have to step up here in the back hall.
We'll step away from all this Prowler. So sight lines will come through. Velocity good to pick up the first. Going to throw the lockdown to guarantee the retake. This bonus looking to be converted upon by the Alberta Esports Association. They continue on their way. Cascade very deep. And Don is a deep look. A second, in fact, coming all the way down. B long. A third for the Killjoy. A shimmy now to trade back. Nightmare going to have answers. And all this post-plant utility stalling time as Atlas just hoping to find some heads. Picked up the first. Hard look on KPS. Can't quite hit the shots.
And a big commitment for Alberta just to lose out that round, but also context matters. That's a bonus. And whilst it was made more expensive by the commitment of the lockdown, I also love the quick decision making to put that into use early. it is often something I can see with a few of these teams in the collegiate space where they get a bit hung up on just holding on to ultimates. Just toss them out there. Give it a try. And that's what we saw from U Alberta in that last round. It nearly worked out. Just some good shots from Don, stopping what could have been a fantastic bonus victory. Instead, the Dark Knights, they have their first, and it's... Well, I feel like I'm seeing the same round again here a little bit.
Yeah.
Only the fourth time we've seen this approach now in the 4 rounds we've had.
This time they are going to have that first pick at their disposal. As Don will take Witter, Nightmare another, and it's worked quite nicely into this round thus far. Unless Velocity can play spoiler. Pick up those 2 frags back, and will dodge away. Shimi's going to go to the hall. Will find a pick just in time. Can't quite kill the planter. That Prowler going to give them plenty of info. They sniffed out all the back of the site at their disposal. UA just lost a retake. Can they convert this one?
It certainly seems plausible, especially with the man advantage. But the difficulty is they can spam through this smoke, and okay, yeah, KBS just straight up has a lineup there, knows precisely where to spam. And that's been the problem. Might continue to be here.
Now listen, going to swing out their own Nebula, straight into trouble. Does find one, though, a trade from both controllers. Shimmy a tap, looking for the Viper. Shots on, not quite to land. Now it's to play around that post-plant denial. Shimmy no choice but to head away from this one. Knows they won't take it home. At the end of the round, it's all chalked at 2-2.
Not being able to take advantage of being a man up is maybe one of the more interesting points of that retake. And also, credit where it's due, Dark Knights just not peeking, not over swinging, not giving opportunities to have those players go down in the long. And that's something I get the feeling we're going to see a whole lot more of. That's this double controller at its best. You just so much utility to contend with. And once you get the Viper utility down on the spike, if the Viper stays alive, then you're almost guaranteed, if you can spam through, to continue to pick up those frags.
All right, so the same early cascade. This one's going to go on to the A side, and it's just the Astra close, going to hold very much into this one. The boom bot will play spoiler. Nightmare to take that one away, and that's the A side opened up.
Pretty much for free. Pashko leading the way has been fantastic on the Jet, but now on the Raze for Pearl. Only time we've been seeing anything other than that Jet for Pashko. And like I said, all of that utility, man, it's so brutal. It's all been put down, and once again, we're in this post plant, and it's 5-on-4 favoring the Dark Knights.
Trailblazer out. C2 close here. Team Alberta going to try to make this one happen. Pashko going to spray the first 2 attackers down. Scott, you find another. That just leaves the Killjoy, and this round certainly over in flawless fashion at that.
Holy post plant. This is ridiculous from the Dark Knights. They're just playing brilliantly once they get the spike down, not putting a foot wrong whatsoever. And notice what happened in the early stages of that round, Kat. It was 4 players towards B. Just the one man defending A. And, you know, I have to assume part of that is just running B every round for the first 4 rounds of the game. Yeah, some of that for U Alberta, not exactly ideal. Though, at the same time, what do you expect? They're just going to not respond to you running a B?
Absolutely. My only concern here for the Dark Knights is consistently on their early take, that cascade comes out. It's almost a call out of, this is a direction we're going, but as long as you're confident the contact execute, it's not that big of a deal. Lockdown early towards A main, and execute now going to follow off the back end of it. Got room on site. Plan will go down yet again. And you said holy post plant. This team going to look to bring it in with the Viper's pick.
That they are. With a lot more to do here. The Seekers, that's going to confirm tons of information. And look at the post plant here. This not very different for the Dark Knights, but the Viper's pit creates so many additional question marks here. Where are these players? Could they be in the pit? Yeah, they could, but they are not.
That's going to find one. Traded back. KVS over to Link. Low HP through the box, but alive nonetheless. Is Atlas going to find another? That's the President down. There's room to play here on the retake if they want to make it happen. Looks like the call-off will be there. Atlas can't quite get the memo. He'll fall to Scotty, but a round converted yet again for the Dark Knights.
I want to go back to something you mentioned about the Cascade maybe being an early warning siren of sorts for you, Alberta, about Dark Knights and where they actually are going to be going. That is true, but there's another side of that, and that is Toxic Screen has been going down on B every single round. And that does, I mean, you have to respect it to a certain degree, I would imagine. And that's what Alberta have been doing. So using the fact that you are working a double controller to create questions in the defense's strategy and where they should be playing their individuals is exactly the point of this composition. And Dark Knights are doing a great job of manipulating U Alberta.
To continue to do so into this round. Early cascade and not quite to the ult orb just yet. That smoke from the Alberta does do enough to guarantee they can convert it. They're going to use that boom bot for safety and all the info in the world for the defensive. They've walked up B long.
Yeah, this is great. I love this just adjustment from U Alberta. They realize that they're getting played here, and so just try to take space. Confirm that they're not actually there. Showstopper out into this reckoning, and it's really not going to be easy to find success, but the right spot, but not enough damage. The frag will be had, though. The Phantom confirming what the Showstopper could not.
Guarantees off the wall bangs, and yet again, it's post-plant time. Here come the flankers. They've walked all the way around, and Witter good for the first. Are they aware of two more? Hyper will find another. Trades back the other direction, but a second for the KO. A third for Witter. And Shimmy now looking to hold on to the back end to finish off KBS. He's in a 1v2 and stuck in the middle. Not where you want to be. Shimmy will pick it up. U Alberta, a third round.
Massive couple of frags there for Witter specifically. And on that jet roll has been phenomenal. Just the consistency. Second highest rated jet, by the way, is Witter. Only second to Pajko in this tournament. And of course, Pajko currently on the raise, but point still stands. As a round for Alberta, a much needed round. It was 4 in a row that the Dark Knights took after the anti-eco and the pistol victory. So the adjustments towards B long rather, pushing, getting aggressive there, they were successful, but is that something you can do every round? I'd wager not so much.
Yeah, I'm not the one to wager against you when it comes to that one. Like the play from Alberta, a little bit of extra aggression to make sure that no one's on that ult orb. They find nobody at home. That's because they've gone hunting down towards Art. Got their feet wet just a little bit, and now they've got some space at their disposal.
This is great from the Dark Knights. They've set a tone right here. They've been incredibly aggressive on the outskirts of the map, and that's opened up the middle area for easy victories, easy takes. As the aggression comes forward, it's time to go. Split towards A seems on the cards.
Dude, they check for Atlas here. Has been so deep early. Trigger discipline going to be big. Doesn't need it. We'll find both nonetheless. A third player here, but Spike at their disposal means all they need to do is throw down a Nebula and hold for some space. KVS going to try to grab a frag back and get back around the hind side of this one. Has done just that. Big wall bang to find one. Atlas caught by Scotty in 1v2. Off of what was quite a disadvantageous scenario for the Dark Knights. No Spike, but now a height side and a chance for a harbor on site.
That cove, it's been great. Just a bait and switch, the dash in, but no, the shorty's good. Witter does it again. U Alberta, they tie the game. Oh my goodness. Had the op and knew that that op wasn't going to be the right weapon for the job.
No fear from Witter. Early frags for Atlas off of early spacing gives
Switch
lots
the dash
of room.
in, but no.
That second shorty shot, never more thankful for it in that moment.
And that's exactly what we've come to expect from Witter. The most clutch jet in this tournament right now. A 47% win rate in the clutch. And has been in that situation 15 times as well. It's the player you want.
I like the call here for the timeout. Take a second. A muddy round through and through. Big frags for both sides of the coin. And a team that's been doing a good job of reinventing throughout the offensive half. So not necessarily a timeout needed for failing ways, but a timeout to soothe the nerves.
Yeah, it is a little interesting to see a timeout there. Because I think you could really put that round down to one big mistake, and that is you just got to check your corner there. It's obviously, we've all been there. It happens, but it's also not something that can consistently occur. You have to make sure to be looking in those directions. Back towards A, it seems. We've been sticking it up with this 3-player hold towards the B site, despite it not being the area of attack for the last 4 or 5 rounds.
Back yet again, looking for all the contact and going to be caught by the Nightmare. So all the info in the world, all the haunt lines and the Dark Knights stalled out on the push.
I love just the quick reactions there from U Alberta. And this has allowed a full rotation, but the real problem is that now Dark Knights, they could be just about anywhere but B long.
Oh, all that utility going to hold Shimmy in his place. Allows for the frag to come through. Be the Molly Pachko going to go to the top rope with the judge. We'll take down Atlas. That's 2 entry frags, and the Dark Knights with room. Plant's going to, just barely be denied. And that lockdown going to have it right on front of sight. So U Alberta have walked their way back in. They've got room. A double hold now onto that down spike. The Dark Knights, a lot of work to do to get back into it. Roomba trying to make some space and a great poison orb to make the cross.
Yeah, but they're at a man disadvantage, and the problem is that Scotty can just put the spike down, plant it for the CT area, and, well, now it's essentially the same situation, but maybe even a little bit better for Dark Knights because they have a crossfire.
Great crossfire. They've got a flank on the way for the Viper as well. Velocity, the poke and prod will be caught by Don. Scotty now will get his and Pajko as well from spawn.
That's brutal. I mean, really brutal for Alberta. They invested so heavily there, the Nightfall. They even put down both the null command and the lockdown. And even still, it wasn't enough. Dark Knights, incredibly intelligent to leave Scotty inside of A main. And with that, can just be the secondary fire to deal with the players coming in one after another. Just great stuff. The Dark Knights post plants, it's just become a constant factor at this point. But man,
they're coming.
So impressive.
They're coming. Pashko and Scotty going to pick up the first 2. And yet again, Sentry frags to the A side of Dark Knight's crew walking their way in. Witter with the Blade Storm, but caught away by all this utility up towards Link. No sight lines, no options just yet.
Understandable that this is an eco round, but just straight up taking the duels in that early stages, Alberta. Maybe some frustration, not sure how to adjust into this next round. Here's the Blade Storm. It's going to have to be good. That's really the only possibility.
Witter looking for what they can do with the aforementioned ultimate. Nothing, it appears. Rest of the team fuddled as well. Velocity will grab 1 before they fall. 2 rounds now, the difference. The Dark Knights with the lead.
The Knights, they pick it here on Pearl. They realize that this is definitely a good map for them, and just showing that off once again. Honestly, I'd say the way that the Dark Knights are playing right now, it's really impressive that U Alberta have 4 rounds. Really quite good. They've got another round to give it another go. Operator out for Witter, the second time that we've seen that. And it is the full buy minus some armor. Just lacking, see a few half shields, but nonetheless, back to this A site. It's really been one-dimensional for the Dark Knights, which is crazy, but all they do is get on the site.
Pashko space down Link. Not much found off the showstopper. Looking to put a dent in this Killjoy setup, but worry comes from Pit now. Scotty going to find one. Hyper will fall in the front of A main. Yet again, the Dark Knights looking for 2 entry frags and a walk to the site. Velocity trying to switch the script in this one. Will put damage into the Cove. Not quite bursting the bubble, though, as the planter is going to put that one down. Atlas the walk through, caught now on the trade. 2 players up close. Witter with an operator, going to be hard to get involved in the back line. Shimmy looking to open the door. Good to find one. KVS right around the corner, and he'll have the refrag. Reckoning out to guarantee this round. The Dark Knights push forward. KVS to pick up 2 more. Velocity on site. Will grab 1. Needs 3 to win the round. A second now at his disposal. Looking to half the spike. Don won't peek. A hold,
just holding
a
it.
full hold from Velocity. No re-swing for the Dark Knights. And it's a walk away. Velocity pros don't fake.
Hell no, they don't. Velocity even walks away with the frag. Absolutely outrageous from Velocity, just sticking on the defuse, saying, Scotty, it's your call. You got to swing, mate. And no swing comes through. I mean, understandable, too. To be fair, Velocity had a lot of time to work with. It's not as if they were forced to stick it there, but just went for it anyway. Love that from Velocity. Calling Scotty's bluff, and the bluff, well, it does not pay off. Went all in with a pair of twos. That's what that was. What just happened? Did you kill a bug?
I dropped my pen. Drop my
Sounded
pen
like
just
a
like the
clap.
Asterisk gets dropped in mid. Well, the Killjoy as well. Nice from Nightmare early. Yet again, 2 picks, and the Dark Knights now looking to head to the A site. Hyper going to be caught by the ultimate. The Seekers have done just that, and he is stuck in a world of hurt. Will get out what he can. It's just the one before Pajko takes him to the ground. Alberta 2 players up, and this is looking like a 2-round lead in the half.
Look at how deep Nightmare was able to get into that mid area. This is surely over. Winner is all alone, 1-on-4. Position given away, vulnerable now, and there's so much post-plant utility available. It's a bit of a tragedy, in all honesty.
Winner looking to shoot their way out of this one, and Nightmare won't let it happen. A 3K for the Viper, who opened the door in mid. They lead by 2.
Yeah, so what I was saying, though, is Nightmare, and I kept going back to it, right? The Dark Knights were quite one-dimensional in their approaches. They either were going A or they were going B. A couple of, like, A splits in there through art, but realistically, they barely touched mid-control. They had it almost none of the time. And so, Alberta, they had to adjust themselves. They were playing 3B, and they really gave up mid almost entirely. And that last round, Nightmare just walks straight through mid, nobody's home, and gets 2 on the lurk. That's the power of what the Dark Knights were doing, just conditioning Alberta so that they could take some interesting timings in those coming rounds.
See how Alberta wants to play this attacking side. The Dark Knights once again bring early pressure now on the defensive. Little bit of utility, a little bit of scared tactics, and they'll reset towards the back of the site. So although the utility gives way of, hey, we're coming, we're pushing this space, didn't opt to. A bit of a bluff, and it's paid off as Alberta completely go the other direction. Nightmare now caught in mid, will back away. Teammate falls behind him. Shimmy looked for a little bit more on the swing and got it.
Such an interesting posture for Dark Knights at the outset of this round. They gave up B entirely. They didn't even push it, and they still have it fully given away. They're so confident in their retake, I guess, that they've decided it's just more important that we hold this mid and A area. And I don't know, maybe they've watched Alberta play this map before or something, but they've got a great read. Only now are Alberta headed somewhere else, and it's at that moment that Pajko elects to go for the aggression with 2 other players in tow. The Dark Knights equalize.
Shimmy on his way. Pajko sniffed it out early. They will opt to back away. Don't want to fight for mid just in case there's helping hands there for Alberta. So Plant going to go down towards B. It'll be retake time. Team a bit far away. Going to be 10 or so seconds off the clock before they get there.
So now it's time to put it to the test. Dark Knights, they gambled. They said our retake's great. Or at least that's what their posturing was telling me. Now we'll see if that pays off or it was a massive gamble in the wrong direction.
That's coming about early. There's a look. Don going to pick up the first as Witter will trade that one straight back the other direction. 2 playing hallway, looking to push out Witter from this position. He's going to find another look, even with the pressure on its way. Behind the Radiant Knight cradle, go Scotty finally taking him down, and a 2-on-2 will be the story. Early look for the Nano Swarm to stall for time. Awkward high tide. Nightmare to find the first. Second Nano now. Scotty will find the frag, but the spike will take him down.
Oh, man, that is so interesting as the Dark Knights, you know, their gamble didn't pay off, but it was darn close to it. Respect where it's due. Alberta, they'll pick up the pistol round, but it was by a small margin, and it ends up just some great post-plant Nano Swarms just passive play, don't overextend, and big credit to Witter there as well. Just being a nuisance. It was so difficult to finally kill. Once they did, that was what ate up most of the time.
Got a war brewing early towards A. It's 4 players for the Dark Knights. They hear the noise and they're going to step away. Instantaneous rotation. Looking to read in this one, said we just left B open. I'm sure they call that, and they've read this nicely again.
Holy cow, there's going to be 5 players here for the Dark Knights.
Oh, the choke. But he gets
But
back.
he gets away?
Yeah, the right-click classic. Nightmare going to pick up a look. KBS another. There's weapons to be had here. That one, unfortunately, is just a ghost, though. The real prize a little bit further into sight, and Alberta are on top of this one's. They'll do what they can here. Still 4 members back. Another classic pick, the 3rd of the round. Scotty's good to convert. New Alberta sweating here, nervous. They might be giving away the eco round as the Dark Knights continue to push the back of the site. Backbone's pretty strong for a team built of cardboard.
It's a free gun, by the way. That's all they have. I mean, they've got 3 kills with classics. It's ridiculous. And indeed, Alberta going to walk away, run the other direction. They have the spike, so it's reasonable at the very least. But no, they're not committing to a rotate. They're committing to a push. But it's ridiculous because the Dark Knights, they're still all here. They've still got 4 players stacked on this B site.
No movers to be seen. A low KO. Shimmy's got to put a lot of the weight on his shoulders, and he's down to the pistols. KBS will find another. A thrifty round. No guns bought, and the Dark Knights walk away with 2 shiny new rifles.
They had 1 shorty. That was all that was invested in it. Didn't even get a kill. It fell flat, but Nightmare was able to come back with the right click and connect that shot. Oh my goodness. The Dark Knights, rare to see. And what an early rotate as well. The call to go back towards B, they only had info that 1 player was there when they made that call, and it was the right one. And then once they got situated with the positions on the site, the crossfires, well, then it's essentially the same thing as what I've been praising them all game. It's that they can hold a site once they have it. And well, they had it and they held it.
Yeah. Big control going to be the target here for you, Alberta. Spike defaulted deep into spawn, so they're really looking for spacing and utility usage early. Been able to get a swarm out in the early 20 seconds of effort.
Only a little bit of info gained off of that Trailblazer, but Scotty does know that at least somebody's hanging out in mid. This is more of a standard approach to this map that you Alberta are taking. The Dark Knights, they're a bit wacky. They did things a bit differently. And credit to them, it worked great. It's not a knock, it's just an observation. That high tide will force back you Alberta, though. The timing on this utility has been phenomenal.
It's a good defensive setup here. The Dark Knights are going to have that secondary swing opportunity if they do want to push through mid. And Alberta going to opt for one thing they haven't checked yet into this round. They'll head now towards A. Killjoy on that position as well. A turret at her disposal and help from Ling. Scotty's Cascade going to push off the rest of the team as he caught in the middle. His teammate went down back of sight. Didn't feel confident. Well, it's cost him everything. Velocity going to pick up the first 2. KBS has read. The art player is going to take down Shimmy as help on its way from spawn.
This seems like a very difficult retake. The positioning is great for you, Alberta. And they mostly have the health to work with as well as this crossfire set on anybody entering into A main.
Pashka looking to step forward. Caught and dead. KBS, though, continues the frags. Going to find 3 here early. Nightmare yet again trying to tap a 4th. The Sky looking for the Ace Atlas Classic in hand, and Nightmare will come off the spike to take the frag. Defuse going to be close, but the Dark Knights looking to convert their 9th round. They'll get it.
I was going to say, I thought there should be enough time. KBS, hero of the round. The Dark Knights, it seems like everybody having a heroic moment here and there. When you and I were watching Pashko on day 1 of this, and I mean, it's clear from the stats that he continued that form, was unstoppable. But now it's everybody stepping up, and props to Velocity, who's 18 and 12. But listen, you Alberta, it's not that same look, unfortunately. That said, Another gun round here coming up. But a 9-6 scoreline for the Dark Knights is a pretty big gap to fill in. And a 10th could force not only an eco for Alberta, but the start to the end, things get crazy.
Flash from KBS will have early information when it comes to mid. And again, Alberta going to see what they can find on the art side of the map. Scotty will give the spacing, cascade forward.
Right there.
And this team stalled.
3 players towards the A side, though, for the defense. Those Seekers, they've given a lot of information now. And you can see what the adjustments have been. A very heavy lean towards A with those 3 players. And 1 towards mid, cutting off rotations. Again, high tide. Great timing. Just holding back Alberta for another 15 seconds.
Add a flash in the mix. A bit of extra time gone. 0 point. Trying to be the cue, but they determined the A push, and it's worked indeed. It sent the sky over the Viper. In addition, this team going to work that mid spacing to head back over to B site. Dark Knight still haven't seen anything A. Have red wind of this one. Nightmare, an early pick here could be big for the retake. Spam's going to come through, but the Nebula will deny sight. As Alberta have gone to the B side, it'll be retake city.
Dark Knights, they said that they were going to be able to do this on the pistol, but that's why they gave it up. They didn't hold that area. I mean, they had a player on the site. They just fell back. So this retake seems plausible to me. First opening pick certainly is.
Witter looked for some info, cost him his life. Pasco going to find another as a toxic screen falls. The Dark Knights use that to their disposal. KBS will find another. Scotty to get involved. Just one left at a link. A lot to do. Didn't finish the first kill. Thought it was over. Went to the next. But Scotty, I'm still alive and I'm taking you down.
Shimmy, that's tragic for the in-game leader of Alberta. Just thought they had killed the player but didn't. We've all been there, but it's so rough when it happens. Just moving a little bit too fast. So, a 10th round, and this is where things get hairy for the University of Alberta. Look at the money. It's just all over the place. And are they going for the commitment on the force buy? Shimmy's fully invested here. Or at least appears to be. The rest of the team, not so much so.
I think it's too early.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So just more of a hero rifle. Shimmy feeling confident on the Guardian. And the Blade Storm to add insult to injury here. Very winnable for Alberta. This is not a free round by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. The Blade Storm, I think, will play a big picture of this one. Witter will get some daggers out and is able to convert. That'll refresh the daggers. That'll give the first pick as well. The team with the quick plan on the B site. Reckoning for the Dark Knights, looking to get back in. Pasco's found one. Right click with 2 for the Rays right now. Looking to combine for a third. We'll pick it up off the Reckoning. Good just like that. And this retake looking so incredibly strong. 2 players the advantage.
I mean, that's just brutal, isn't it? But Atlas, maybe this is the time. 4 for Pashko, but this is winnable 1v2.
Downhole in the defuse. Pole going to stunt it for now. But Pashko with the ace in the round shuts down any hope of the half buy.
Oh, man, but still good damage done there for Alberta. They got the spike planted, so a little extra cash in their pockets. Not bad. That'll also give plenty of money for Shimmy to continue to buy in. I'd say outcome-wise, not a bad eco. The Dark Knights invested just the one ultimate. Kept 2 players alive. Pashko ace as well. Padding the stats. It's nice to see. And taking what has been their rightful place at the very top of the leaderboard for Dark Knights over this whole tournament, pretty much.
Yep. A player who knows how to grab frags. That goes without saying. Early information off the guiding light when it comes to A main. Viper's pick converted. Dark Knight's not worried about that space. The fragger himself will get info when it comes to art. Boombot expended and a couple shots to the body. Nothing he can't brush off, though.
Curious to see how this showstopper is going to factor into this round. And also interested that Alberta are still putting so much pressure towards A, even given the Viper's pit that's currently set up there. It's crazy how often, though, Dark Knights, they have 4 players right next to the Alberta push.
One rocket. was this entire push. Of course, we know that Pajko doesn't. Still the Phantom going to find value. Scotty out on the re-swing. He'll find a second to go with it. And it's just Witter with a lot to do on site. His teammates all the way towards B. Can he find the Viper? Expecting her in the pit. She's decimated and now has gone to site. And has the vision. Awkward timing. And the Jet's gone. Atlas, the only player left, and his footsteps have been heard by the Killjoy. The turret has exposed him. Scotty going to back up early. They look to contain the asset.
Yeah, this is just so many players to contend with. There's only 15 seconds. Ain't no way. Ain't no reason. And certainly not enough time. It's Nightmare will find their second frag of that round. Scotty another triple. And UAlberta in big trouble right now. Deep water to be sure. And the Dark Knights, I mean, they've essentially played a perfect Pearl, almost. I mean, I can think of only 1 or 2 times that I would say they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the rounds that UAlberta have won have just been good plays by them or just good shots, which is, you know, it happens. UAlberta, they're a good team.
Yeah, I think you really put it nicely in the first couple rounds of this one, at least defensively. It's the team that, when they got to the post plant, never let it go. And of course, they're going to look dominant on the defensive. Pajko early going to find one. Both players caught by the haunt, but they've got some space to work with here. Pajko rocket up high. Interesting choice, and Witter able to tuck that one with ease. Able to find another look as well. Pajko's operator up close and personal. That shot on the legs. Hyper will stay alive in this one, a 3-on-3 for the post plant.
Actually, Hyper got tagged up. It was a collat, that first shot. Got hit in the legs early. So I don't know where that one went because it sure looked on target. Either way, that shot's on target. Hyper will hit that first, but won't go down. At least has a chance to get revived up, but not at this point. Velocity in backhaul has to fully give up Hyper. It's a 1-on-2.
Oh, caught by the flash. What a nice look from KVS, and that's enough to seal the deal on this one. The Dark Knights 13-6 on their map pick. They'll move up 1-0 and one step closer to Arlington.
That was an incredible game by the Dark Knights. I mean, rare that I see such perfection. And I think that's really what it was. Perfection there for Dark Knights in a collegiate matchup. Even the best teams in the world. Like Northwood, listen, they're great, but they do a bit of trolling sometimes. There was no trolling right there, okay?
What's this Northwood stray? Hey, Northwood University fans mauled. They just caught the biggest stray in the world.
Listen, if you know they do a bit of trolling sometimes. They would say that themselves, but nonetheless, the fact remains that the Dark Knights they were manipulating UAlberta like putty in their hands. It was brilliant.
Phenomenal stuff from this team. I mean, hey, it's their map pick for a reason. They now have a flawless win rate still on the map, 2-0 when it comes to this bracket, 2-0 when it comes to officials. Well, UAlberta, time to shine, because momentum certainly is going to be in that Dark Knights camp. Fortunately for them, a couple minutes of break, and when we get back, it's map number 2.
Every character in the game. Is it? Did I say the Ice Climbers already?
Yeah, you said them.
Is it them? Is it them a second time?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, is it one of the links?
Yes, it is.
Is it Toon Link?
It is.
Oh, that is pretty embarrassing. That is rough. Who do you play?
I'll give you $20 if you guess correctly right now.
First try?
First try.
Give me a single hint.
It's an obscure character.
Obscure character.
Not played very often.
Is it Wii Fit Trainer? Oh my god! I'm the interviewer for a reason, baby. I do what I do. I don't need the money. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. So Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and I forgot already. Are you all lying to me? Am I being gaslit? No. Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and you told me already. Oh, Toon Link. Yep. Where's my main support at? Who are we playing this weekend?
A lot of Brig.
A lot of Brig, really?
Brig Lucio, probably.
Brig Lucio, really? I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't want to give all your strategies. It's over-under?
What do you mean over-under?
Like, do we think we're going to podium? Do we think we're going to come in last place?
Not last place.
Not last place.
Certainly not last.
What about, like, 5th place?
That's doable.
That's doable? That's winnable? 3rd place?
Third
That's where things get dicey?
That's very doable.
Okay.
First place? That's very doable.
First place, very doable. Love it. That's the mindset. That's what he loves to hear. Yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. Cut the cameras. Well, who are you? Hello. Oh my God. I saw you earlier. I saw the back of your shirt. And I was like, I know that name. I know him. It's a quick play game. They Q-sniped each other at land. I thought it was a scrim. It's just unlucky. Are you actually a Villager player?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Villager being notably worse in Smash Ultimate than they were in Smash 4?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know? You never played Smash 4?
No.
Oh, that's all right. Nobody's gonna hold that against you. Who do you play?
I play Robin.
Okay, wow. Did you know Robin has the lowest pick rate in the game?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Come on, the LEDs, it looks just like Samus.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
I guess I can see
The
it.
Samus vibe. Show the controller to the camera. We're interviewing. This is recording, by the way. Surprise.
Not my controller.
Who do you play?
I play Peach.
Oh, wow. I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazi.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe.
This is a death match. I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your KD?
We're looking at 10 and 6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's third, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do we think we're doing so far?
You know, it could be better.
Could be better? You're one of those rough days?
Well, you know.
Let's go find more people to harass. Yeah. Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco. Oh my God, I don't think anyone is gonna get that. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise's still got really good odds. A Large Bagel, one of their tank players, Nerdy Bird, they're off tank. Both of them not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast, interview. Change your mindset, change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good, that was good. Anything from you?
How are we doing, Polly?
Awesome, thank you so much for your time. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Septilance, and I'm super excited to walk through these with you so you can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in Week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Sort of forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct tight angles make it tough. You have Axorus that actually gets a wallbang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. It's a lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're gonna spam through this box, you're not getting anything done, and Panda won't even let him get that far. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Cena, sledge option gonna be charging forward smash, going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit and pick, getting hit by the kid. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That clock has been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the CECC Last Chance Qualifier. And might I say, Vincent, this chair right here is mighty comfortable. You know why?
Please tell me. I'm dying to know.
Because it's the official gaming chair of the CECC. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to check out Zip Chair and Dream Seat, the official partners of the CECC LCQ. Head to zipchair.com. You can get comfy, just like me.
I hope to one day be as comfortable as you. Unfortunately, for now, I am not, but you can be over at Zip Chair. With that said, we got map 2 coming up next, Cotton. It's a little bit of a dicey situation here for you, Alberta, but they've been down before, and they've been able to bring it back. They're up against Series Point, and as we've been talking about, only one team gets that qualification spot. One of these two left. And the Dark Knights, they have the lead in this series after that 13-6 domination.
Yeah, that they do. That was on their map pick of Pearl. Now we jump to a farewell tour of Icebox map. We know that will be headed away in the coming times, so Bind can re-enter the pool. A little victory tour, if you will. And when it comes to Icebox, right, let's talk about victory tours. The Dark Knights, we've seen them play it once this year, once in officials, played it in CVAL round of 32, won that game 13-10 fashion. Now, Alberta, let's talk about juxtaposition. 2-5 this year on the map in their CVAL round of 32. This is the map that did them in. Yesterday against TAMU in a 2-1 win. 13-5 they lost this map. This is the map that did them in that series. Why are they here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, to be fair, just having a couple of games played might suggest that this is a place that Dark Knights are a little bit less than perfect on. Like, I'm trying to get the read of what maybe the idea is, because Alberta, they are a very smart team. They wouldn't be making this decision for no reason. I just don't know what that reason is.
Right.
Because on paper, this doesn't look all that great.
Right. I mean,
maybe that TAMU game's just a little bit crazy. Maybe TAMU are nuts on Icebox. Let me just check that out. Let's see. Are TAMU nuts on Icebox? Maybe.
That could be it. As you check that out, I want to say, maybe it's because this team of the Dark Knights don't have too much experience on the map in recent times. But hey, they only had one map played of Pearl, and they just took a 7-round deficit to win that one out. So a team that definitely has that deep map pool and has shown it to us all the way throughout the latter stages of this bracket. And it's in the sound like maybe they don't have the craziest of iceboxes.
I mean, listen, it's just they don't. But honestly, I don't even know how to take this. There's stats from 2021, and they lost,
we don't need those.
Yeah. But they're against FaZe Clan and YFP.
Oh.
Not that those were to matter anyway. But then they played Waterloo Gold at the beginning of this year in a for fun tournament, and they won.
Okay.
So they just haven't played the map for 4 months, and then they 13-5. So
grain of salt.
There's just no info.
All right. Well, we'll get the info live and in living color, and if Alberta want to stay alive, they'll need to win this one out.
Alrighty. The Dark Knights, I mean, this is the standard comp, and it is a mirror matchup. Just double checking that I didn't see something crazy. No, mirror matchup. I was busy Googling, you'll have to forgive me.
Forgiven.
Velocity had a great map one, to be fair. It was fantastic for Alberta. If that continues here, and, maybe we see a little bit more from Witter, who I think was good but not great.
Sure.
This could be different.
Well, Side Eye Canada certainly hopes that it is just that, as Recon's going to go to the back of the site, a wall deep towards screen as well, and a plant has gone down early, the Esports Association.
Easy plant, or at least it should be. It will be that. Dark Knights, time for the retake, which, I mean, they've been good at.
Wall their own for the retake for KBS as they'll cross to the back of the site. Nightmare going to pick up one. It's the Dark Knights retake low in HP bars, but continuing on the way is Shimmy going to pick up two. Traded back, though, in waves by the defensive. The Dark Knights strike first.
Yeah, Pashko with the final one there, and it was a bit of an interesting defensive hold there for Alberta once they got the site control. I felt like, that plant position and the way that the wall was going, there's just a lot of question marks for me. But nonetheless, they do not take that victory, and it will be time to go back to the drawing board, at least for the second round. Is this a force buy that I see? Alberta.
All right, all the stops pulled out. And pulled back out.
Why do I believe any teams? It just I mean, to be fair, my ranked teammates can't buy weapons within the time allotted and get out of spawn, so I don't know. That's probably reasonable.
Now, with that said, Alberta once again going to start early towards the A site. A lurk on its way. All the way up too. And this will be good info for future rounds, not necessarily this one. They'll learn of the turret setup. Velocity not fully equipped to be the one to break it in this round, but knows it'll be there, knows they're playing deep, and Pajko will know about Witter, takes him down.
And the jet-on-jet duel right there, and Velocity has been incredibly obvious about this position. It's been so very loud, and KBS is very prepared for it. maybe that has taken a few eyes off of the A site, but not that many. The Dark Knights ready for the push.
Pashko, good to garner another. Alberta once again trying to at least get a plant down in the eco. Pashko doesn't want that to go down. A third for him, and Scotty will seal the fate. 2-0, 4 guns into the bonus.
So the Dark Knights are pretty solid first 2 rounds. I think we would both agree. This is the big important one. That investment in the last round was pretty hefty for Alberta. And so they'll all be relegated to the half shields for that reason. Not that it, well, it does really matter a lot up against
looking at
SMGs.
Spectres. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally that's like, you know, it's a big deal, but it's not the biggest deal if it's just rifles.
I mean, even the Sheriff, right? Like, that headshot from distance now is a 148 as opposed to the 150. So that 2 HP you won't get left with either.
That's a good point, yeah. So I think we've reasoned ourselves to the point where, yeah, makes a lot of difference.
Could be trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Twitter looking to cause a bit themselves towards Generator. Don's going to sneak in to this close angle position. I like that call as well when we're looking at the Spectre, the close range weapon. We know how effective it is at spray downs right under its nose, and that's what he'll be looking for towards Generator. Alberta yet again have started pressure here. They're going to lead within the first 30. But the Dark Knights have taken all the additional space. Pashko good for the first.
That's what I was just going to get at. Like, Pashko's there, and not the only one either. KBS is waiting in the wings for any re-aggression, and that means that all of this push towards A, even though it's, you know, in theory, the Alberta have cleared out the information, they've made it seem as if they go back towards B. No, not really. It's very clear this is an A execute.
Don has been here forever. Now time to shine. Velocity more than aware. Nightmare a trade. Still gonna have the hands into the angle, but we'll get them back just in time as he resends to the scaffolding. So a team still at even numbers, even with disadvantaged weaponry, finally an advantage for a team on post plant.
Hyper's been fantastic. This KBS frag, it's the key to success with a Vandal in hand. Information as well as the knowledge that there's 2 additional players there. Spotted where Witter's at, but it's just now a 1-on-2.
Room to work with, room to reason. 1v1s. Up close and personal is Atlas. He's realized and is backed away. Witter on Generator. Going to have the angling here. It's just a solid cross. Now set up with his teammate. KBS to step forward and the crossfire prevails to hold on. Alberta will find their first round.
I really love how the player just initially was waiting very close range. I think that was Atlas was just getting information. Spotted that, yeah, they're pushing up. KBS is close, and then just fell all the way back for that crossfire. That's exactly the sort of, like, just really good, intelligent play that Alberta are really known for. I mean, they've been, whenever they aren't able to have their individuals stepping up, which they do often, it's that sort of thought process that makes them very deadly.
All right, the half armor homies back out for the team just to find their first win. Pashko going to go to the top. Rose Blade Storm in tow, and he will tow away from the early contact, forced away by the offensive side. As yet again, they occupy the space A lobby. Yet again, they find contact. Yet again, they fall away.
Difference is this time, Velocity's taken the very important role of just holding space at B, ensuring that there's no free frag, no free space gathered for the Dark Knights, and it's back to the B site. For Alberta, we got 5 players here, and it's just Dawn ready to defend. Has both snake bites ready to go as well.
Here we go, Don. Lots of time, lots of room to work with. We'll tuck the recon back a sight. Good for the first. Spike absolutely decapitated on its way into the site. Still room, though, for Alberta to play with. Plant denial isn't quite far enough, so plant will go down. The Dark Knights continue to find frags before the retake even begins. Don another, and this team now confident to push their way forward. A third for the Viper. Side anchor comes up huge. An easy retake for the Dark Knights.
Yeah, I mean, and to even call that a retake's a little bit wrong,
disingenuous,
right?
yeah.
I mean, Alberta, they never actually had the side, it felt like.
Yeah.
Don just kind of lent it to them temporarily. It was just there for a moment.
Yeah, high interest loan.
Yeah, exactly. And as we both know, those Those payments, they come in
They
and
do.
they are not ideal.
Yeah, exactly that.
So, nonetheless, big victory in the bonus for Alberta, but immediately thereafter they get put back down. A Bucky in hand, Shimmy trying to work some magic with that weapon. Can be really good, but also as many different angles as there are on the attack. I feel like it's really hard to get into spots where this can work.
Yeah, I like the way you say that. Hard to get into spots where it can work. Like, there's definitely moments, but it really is a big hero moment and a lot of hopium. So we'll see. That is not a friendly shock bolt. Going to catch a lot of damage onto Witter early. He's been the player not necessarily grabbing frags in every entry, but being there, being present. Good distractor at times, just getting deeper into the back line of sight to create space, and harder to do that when your HP bar is so low.
You Alberta have done this a couple times where they've taken early A control, gotten some pushback, and then fallen back only to reaggress.
Yeah.
Not a bad strategy, but it is starting to become a little bit of a pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. KBS backs up of all that space aforementioned thanks to the pattern, so they get to chill for a bit here. Had the first pick. Hunter's Fury going to come out. Doesn't quite find much off its fishing trip, and Shimmy, hard to find places where it works. KBS going to find a second. The player with the Bucky is Pazco now to push forward. Velocity's got a nice one tap. Can they get more out of this post-plant hold? Pazco, the Jet to find another. KBS a third off the rafters, looking to finish the job. And
okay.
Places where it works for Witter, but not enough frags converted. 2 for his troubles, a 4th round for the Dark Knights.
Yeah, I think that just perfectly shows how it can be great, but it is very much about where you're located and the situation you're in. In that spot, we had flipped the script. That was essentially you Alberta playing defense, defending the spike that was planted, but playing defense, and that's where it really can be strong, the Bucky. So, nonetheless, a couple of additional guns taken out of the hands of the Dark Knights. That's really all it comes down to, though. Maybe a little bit of extra money as well in the hands of Witter. Not that that's going to turn into anything more than a Vandal. No operator out for Alberta just yet. The Dark Knights have one, though, and it's in the hands of Pazco. Now on the Jet. I mentioned it before, but Pazco, the highest rated Jet in this tournament by a long shot. Average of 300 ACS.
I like what I see thus far.
Went for a no-scope.
Down towards V-Long. You know, sometimes you just feel it. Fortunately, the Bullets weren't feeling the other player there, but nonetheless, the Viper's Pit is pushed away U Alberta, so possibly back into Pazco's jaws if he opts to head under tube now. Oh. Low KVS, but alive. Healed his teammate, not himself, question mark.
Yeah. No. That's
this clicker?
No, that's the Sage you want on your team.
Okay.
Doesn't heal themselves, heals you.
I like that you make this a story of morality.
yeah, exactly. It's listen, Sage is a role where you play for your team, not yourself.
Sure.
That's the way it goes.
I like that. I like that energy. As Don will be up close and personal. Fin the pit. Still Silva util to snuff out this player, and that snakebite should give a little headway. Team on their way forward. And you're going to pick up one on the opposing side. Scotty, another Don now caught out. Pit gone, but 2 players off the offensive. As Scotty good to find another. The back of the site duo continue to find frags. 4 rounds, the lead for the Dark Knights.
And this is where I think the way that I would describe the Dark Knights play on the defense is incredibly intentional. There's not things that happen for no reason. And that's precisely what we saw right there. Knowing the weaknesses of that Viper's Pit, they had a Crossfire set up to deal with it immediately. They knew, hey, you could just go over the top with the zip and be quiet about it. Well, that's fine. You're just going to be walking into Scotty and Nightmare, which is nightmarish, to say the least.
Get out of my way.
Revealing area. There they are.
Are you Alberta back yet again early into A pattern you stated, and Pazco has read it out quite nicely. Going to take down Atlas off the early contact, and they're looking for more on the defensive end. Hyper, a big trade out off via the Bulldog. It's quite nice to see. A res going to come through. You Alberta think they can win this one?
I think they can too. They get on this site. They've got a Viper's Pit and a Judge inside it. That is a winning combination, if I've ever seen it. Not only that, but the lockdown, but there's another res, and that's one for KBS onto Pajko, as KBS can shoot headshots as well as res players.
Okay, good looks with Eco Guns yet again. The Stinger, the Classic, both going to find frags. Viper's Pit now online on the site, but a Viper up close and personal on the back line, looking for the first, and will convert it. Don will take down Hyper. An opposing lockdown now going to force players directly into his jaws as Don, hungry. It's late dinner time for the Viper. Can they chow down? Scotty going to find Velocity. It's Atlas, Stinger in tow, a 1-on-3 on his way, and stuck in the jail and locked on out of the round.
Another great just decision for the Dark Knights when it comes to being aware of what ultimates are available and having a plan to counter them. They know that the pit's online, and I didn't even look at it, but they were always planning on using that lockdown if the pit came out. They know that that's an easy way to deal with Atlas and force them out of their own Viper's Pit. And that's precisely what was done. It's 6-1. I mean, I was singing the Dark Knight's praises on map number 1, and it was not anywhere close to this dominant in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to tell the tale of the tape. Just look at KDs. Positive all across the board for the Dark Knights. Not a single positive KD for the Canadians.
Yeah, that is unfortunately very rough. Alberta, there's still chances to come back. It's only 5 rounds that they're down, and whilst that's certainly going to feel like a lot, and it is, it's not the end-all be-all. There's ways back in here. Think of this round. Dark Knights, no more ultimates. They don't have any.
Very true. And we know the Dark Knights are a team that just looks a little better defensively. Definitely shows the strength just a little harder when it comes to holding sights down. So you can get a couple rounds stuck out of this half. Anything, of course, is possible. Alberta will head back once again towards A. This time, instead of being there in the first 30 seconds, they'll be here after those 30 seconds have expired. Nightmare back of sight yet again, looking to be the monster in their dreams. Going to pick up one off the shock bolt, spamming through the wall. Can't quite find the planter. Post-plant scenario yet again.
But Shimmy is so low for that. Gonna be able to get healed up, but that's still a massive amount of damage and forces back any sort of heal that could have been done in the middle of this retake. Velocity, the key.
What a read. No doubt about it. Was ready for it. Winner and Atlas, though, on site doing all the dirty work up front. Pajko finally going to find this lurker as it's 2-on-2. Scotty pushed forward, going to find another. Shimmy, can he hold on? Got the cheeky angle cloudburst to give Scotty what could be half on the spike, and Pajko will swing under. FOV will catch Shimmy. His own wrist covers the player on the retake.
That's brutal, man. Oh, just a great defensive setup there for Alberta. They had a good read of the situation. They even had Velocity in position, but I don't even know who it was that caught the look, but just spotted Velocity at the wrong moment. Eventually chased them down. What looked good fell apart in the end, and I mean, Pajko just showing why you should be fearful of this Jet. 11-4 right this moment. 7-1 the scoreline. None of you Alberta have more than 5 kills, and it's round 9.
Yeah, drone will come through early towards B. A new option for you, Alberta. Is this the key to open up a couple round wins? Hunter's Fury looking to find information here down towards long. No tags, but there, one going to come through as Pajko grabs a frag. Everybody up out of A long here, looking to hold this team back. Rats in a cage on the Alberta side. Atlas now known about. Scotty looking to come grab pickings, and that player going to get away just in time. Scotty will turn back and find Velocity instead. Atlas now to fall next down too.
Scotty just head on a swivel. Beautiful work. Twitter in a position though to make this a little bit easier, but now all alone, and 30 HP is not enough to 1v3. 8-1. And I mean, at this point, we're glorified counters. Just counting up the rounds that Dark Knights win. It's ridiculous stuff, and I'm here for it. Alberta, you and I, we talked about it. We were like, is this the right call for Alberta? Should they be here? And I'm sure that there's a reason, the mindset, whatever it was, I'm sure it made sense. But I don't see it.
Yeah.
I'm very much confused.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, when it came to a couple of the first pick and bans, I think we just ran into a scenario where they got to their map pick and said, I think this is our best chance. Like, we play every map just a little bit worse than these guys do, and this is going to be the best option for us. Hey, we're Canadians. Let's go somewhere cold. Let's go to the map with ice. Unfortunately, though, right now, they're the ones being put on it.
I hope that they chose it because it has ice. That would be great. Not so great as that Hunter's Fury. Doesn't really do a lot of work, but a good shot from Atlas will get the site confirmed. And so, Alberta, it's 4-on-4.
Another post-plant scenario for Alberta. Can they hold strong this time? Yet again, it's a lurk on the retake. Are they ready for it this time around? They've seen it 3 times now. Can they finally shut it down? Paz going to step forward, trying to give a look for the over-under. No trade just yet. KBS lurk yet again, going to find value as Witter finds 2 from Hell. Velocity's Judge going to have value now. A rifle picked up for him as KBS is going to be in a 1-on-2. Has a big wall to shut down a look here, especially if it materializes. It cannot, though. Players from Ninja going to shut that one down. Nanoswarm to kill time. Looking to get the spike to half and can do just that. Looking to get it half. Has done so. Growing to grab one. Look from Ninja to Witter. Right click is there. So close is this defuse though. Can he grab it in time? KV out with a clutch by 0.5.
Wow, that's incredible. Just half a second remaining. Pulls out the classic as well, just right-clicking away. They can't put a foot wrong here, can the Dark Knights. Alberta, they've just got to be kicking themselves. They didn't do a darn thing wrong in that scenario. It was just KBS winning all the duels and taking the space. This shot right here, outrageous. He's just on top of the zip. You're supposed to be inaccurate, Cat. It's not supposed to work like that.
Get out of my way.
A player that we praised previously on stream for 26 assists in a single map. Now to have a massive 1v2 clutch, this time in the driver's seat of the frags. There was hope for Alberta. It diminishes by the second by the round. Don going to find Shimmy early as they look for another quick plant. Nightmare to find Witter with the shorty shutting down the Blade Storm, and the whole crew for the retake is cooking. Plant's gonna go down for Alberta, but boy, they don't know it. They're in the pot.
Shorty versus Blade Storm, and Shorty wins. That's this map thus far for Alberta in a nutshell. And nothing happening there at all on that retake of note, other than just great shots from the Dark Knights. They've got double digits in just a single half. This is terrifying. This is, on paper, 2 top 20 teams. Alberta 19th last power rankings. Dark Knights at the time, UCF Black were number 14. So you would think a little bit closer on paper. The difference is clear right now.
The Dark Knights, the defensive demons, showing up and showing out when it comes to holding down territory. Alberta will go back to the drawing board, back to the B site, back into the waiting, loving arms of Pashko's operator.
Is it really loving?
Loving for his teammates. His teammates love it.
Oh, yeah, true. I hate it when I get hugged by an operator.
Oh, Shimmy gonna find value on the Guardian early. Makes things scary for the Sage of KVS, but they find a nice slow to give them some spacing. That's not gonna do much for Pashko so deep in enemy territory. And Viper's Pit give Alberta just an inch of extra room. KBS walking into it. No fear at all. Gonna find one with the shorty, traded quickly. Back, though, by Atlas. Another lurk on its way. They've seen it every time when it comes to the post plan. Are they ready this time? Dawn still going to pick up one. Nightmare, another. Lockdown will find the detainment, and Scotty will find the detainee as Atlas going to fall. Dawn has a last, and it's a retake with no trouble yet again.
I mean, and look at the way that plan goes to fruition. The Dark Knights, as soon as they see the Viper's Pit, they have the plan. Okay, we're using the lockdown. You know, it's much like, you know how in Ascent, it's like lockdown always countered out by, or not always, but often countered out by Hunter's Fury. It's the same thing, but lockdown countering out the Viper's Pit for the Dark Knights. That's the plan, and it's been working brilliantly. 11-1 on the half. That's the final score line. And I don't know. This would be one of the best comebacks I've ever seen if Alberta can make it happen.
Time to rub the hands together, sing a little ditty, get back into it. A pistol round can lead to a second, can lead to a third, and the snowball can begin. Just got to bring yourselves back into this one. This pistol, though, so crucial.
That it is. So many retake victories there as well. You could just see from the diffuses on the timeline. Goes to show that just whenever it is called on to retake a site, they have it.
Bro, he's above you. Pasco on the top ropes. Caught by the right click. Atlas will find a trade back early into this round. So Dark Knight still continue to push the SU Nana Swarm, going to get value. And this team opting to call off, recognize the pressure, and they've got a Sova deep in the back line.
Oh my goodness. How many can Nightmare get? There's just no way they're ready for someone this deep. Surely not. The A site will be found for free, and though very low for the time being, the Sage can get a heal off on themselves soon. TM Nightmare, that's a no-nade zone. Oh no! Pulls out the shock darts at just the wrong moment. But staying alive, this is critical. Buying so much time.
The distractee. Killing so much time and anchoring 2 players in sight allows the rest of the team to walk their way in, get themselves a free plant, and now they get to play the defensive end once again on the post. Shimmy. That all to do a 1v3, 2 low HP bars for the Dark Knights, though. The Sage starts to descend upon this site. Time's already run so short. Wall for Shimmy, looking to hold, but the Nano Swarm's gonna play spoiler to what could have been. Shimmy still going to find 2, but there's just no time for the Sage. Don will step up, tap the head, and it's match point. It's Arlington point for the Dark Knights.
That it is. This last chance qualifier has been electrifying, and what an ending this would be. Could be a 13-1 here in what is 2 of the top teams in this bracket. I mean, Alberta in position. I mean, they beat Texas A&M, but arguably the Dark Knights had the harder run. I mean, they beat Fisher Tea Party, and then they got a 2-1 victory over Mizzou, who've been looking hot. So, could be the last round. Could be the ticket to Texas right here for the Dark Knights.
They'll hang their hat on to the B site. They're coming, and they're coming quick. Walls up. Plant looking to go down. KBS will hold now into the second snake bite. Post plant. All that separates this team from an Arlington bid. Velocity looks to play spoiler in B main. Going to find 1 early. Shots from Pajko. Going to be on the money. A 4-on-4 as the onslaught continues. Shots with the Marshall. Going to find just a bit wide. Is Pajko going to be good for 3? The rest of the team to descend upon the Dark Knights. After 55 teams, 5 series, and 3 days of action, a trip to Arlington, Texas.
That's just an incredible showing. What an end to a great tournament for the Knights. They have done it here and now. And 13-1, again, all of the caveats you and I talked about initially about Icebox and the pick and how it didn't make a lot of sense to us for Alberta to go there. Respect is still there. I mean, Alberta, it's not like they don't play that map. They do play it. They also play Pearl, and they got shellacked on both of them. The Dark Knights, they're a different beast right now.
They showed up all the way through this LCQ, and well, they showed up today as well. Phenomenal score lines for this team. Every player stepping up in their own way, and they've earned themselves the 6th confirmed bid, the CECC May Madness event. And well, Vincent, we could talk all day about how good this team played, but let's let them talk about it instead. When we get back, we'll hear from the Dark Knights.
Can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out, and that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy connects off the backboard. What a shot. I watched it unfold slowly. You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you gotta have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the day for SVSU, tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here. 2 Omen smokes coming out.
1. Oh, Spec just finds 3.
What?
Spraying through the smoke. Oh, what, Spec? That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECAC League. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. Guys gonna believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
Here in this clip, we're going to get a great moment from a Pac-Man, and as a Pac-Man player, I was super excited to see it. We're going to hear a lot of praise from our commentators giving Mosey those compliments of choosing Snake against Pac-Man, a great counter pick. They were super excited to see a Snake on the field, but even without their blessing, Trollery does not yield.
Approach, but like you said, he's trying to play this safe because losing his stock right now for Concord would be really bad. And, well, a little bit of commentator's curse there. We kind of willed that one into existence. Oh, man. Oh my goodness! What?
Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Septilence, how could that be all we got from weeks number 1 and 2? Please tell me there's more. If you like what you saw, you've got to go check out ECAC Esports on all social media platforms. Please see what they're bringing to the table. It is great collegiate esports week after week. And on the bright side, folks, this is just the beginning. We've got the whole rest of what is guaranteed to be a great season ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup. I am Septilence, and I get a really neat opportunity here. We get to interview Burns from E United. Burns, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We're on day 2 of the event. It's been a fantastic one. I ran into you yesterday, but we were running around like chickens with our heads off, and it has been, I mean, how has your time been here? What has this event kind of been like?
Yeah, it's great. I just love being in the passion pit, seeing all the college kids go at it. Reminds me of like an old school MLG event almost, but being like in the epicenter of the passion pit, seeing Rocket League, Valorant, Overwatch, and Smash, just, it's amazing to see all of these schools compete against each other and get a shot to play on this main stage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And tell us a little bit about kind of what is E United, right? Because we know that you're here, we know you're here to represent them, but for the people that don't know, what is E United?
Yeah, E United was founded in 2016. We're a professional esports organization. We've been in League of Legends, Overwatch, all the way to Battle Right, I think it was called back in the day. Right now in 2022, we are in Gears of War, Halo, Rocket League, PUBG, and announcing a new title tomorrow. I know, get the small intel here. So it's a lot of fun. I went pro in Call of Duty when I was younger. I ended up playing my last event under E United, switched in 2016, and I've been the GM ever since. So it's a true blessing to be able to stay with an organization for as long as I have, and we love giving back to the collegiate community. I actually graduated from Full Sail in 2013.
I was a little confused about the jersey. I was a little...
Yeah, so the Full Sail boys are out of the tournament, unfortunately, but I decided I would rep them today in their honor. Yeah, it's just great. I love working with younger individuals who are trying to find their path in esports, and these college kids are really showing what they're all about.
Yeah, so to be kind of an ex-pro player, where a collegiate scene at the time didn't exist, especially not to the scale right now, what is it like to see such high levels of success, such high levels of support for something that you weren't able to kind of get as much support in at the time, something that was looked down on a lot more?
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous. That's all I can say. Full Sail started their program in 2017. when I was there in 2011 and 12, it was just a bunch of nerds running around, just creating their own clubs. I was still striving to go pro, but now you have these opportunities to play on main stage, play in front of thousands of people. We just had locals back in the day. You would show up and play for like $200, $100. It was like lunch money.
Right.
Now these kids are playing for scholarships. They're playing for fame. They could pop off here and end up getting a sponsor for $10,000 or $20,000 from somebody.
Right.
So the opportunities are just endless at the moment, and I think it's just great that you know, you basically can prove yourself and make anything happen right now.
It's instead of kind of what you had gone through, being in college and also trying to go pro, these kids can try to go pro while being in college. It's hand in hand instead of those two kind of battling kind of matchups. So if somebody's trying to go pro, right, they're like, Burns, I want to be you one day. I want to be the GM of United one day. What is that first step to really take it from a hobby to a passion, to a job?
Yeah, I think I've told this story a lot, but it's really, I thought about going pro every night before I went to bed.
Right.
Like, I lived and breathed Call of Duty for years. It was my life. I had to skip dinner sometimes. I had to skip family functions, and my family didn't really understand, but it was what I wanted to do, and it all worked out. But at the end of the day, you always need to kind of be organized. You have to have the ability to not put all of your eggs in one basket. So even though it worked out for me, there are so many opportunities in esports. There's being a caster or interviewing people. There's working in production. There's helping people get waters. Like, literally, there are so many opportunities. So, oh, this crowd's awesome.
They're going crazy, dude. They stayed on their last life right now.
Off subject, Smash, regardless if it's middle school, high school, college, it pops off all the time. I love it.
Well, Burns, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, guys.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Septilence, and let me tell you what, right away, if you thought last week's clips were great from weeks 1 and 2, your minds are going to be blown here in week number 3. Let's take a look at what these players brought to the table this week. We wanted a banger to kick things off strong in our 8th slot of the week, and let me tell you what, CU definitely coming in clutch. They're already up a couple of points, but they want to make sure they can walk away victorious in game number 1 with a pretty good pinch from Pancake.
Yeah. Ooh. Another good shot. Pancake with that shot.
Oh, get your syrup and your chocolate chips out, because this pancake is looking tasty.
With only 60 seconds on the clock, the University of Kentucky was feeling great. They'd already won a fight, Midtown was within their grasp as they only needed to secure one more fight win to full hold Bryant University. But Klaus knew, sometimes it's not just about winning. Sometimes it's about sending a message.
Okay, they've got to move. There's the initial hack. Klaus down like the cat among the pigeons. And there's not a lot of coming back from that one. The fawn, it's...
RPI found themselves with their backs against the wall on Bind. They were 2 round losses away from losing the map and the series being tied up 1-1, going all the way to map number 3. They needed a hero. They needed somebody to guide them to the promised land, and it was Moses with a 3-piece that secured the deal and won them their 9th round.
The team, Southern Arkansas, will make it free and clear, taking on the site, unless Moses able to lock it down with a 3K! It's all up to the singular Briani, who's nowhere to be found!
That must have been, you just walked through.
CU did such a good job this week that we want to highlight them not once but twice. This time the attention pulling over to Lyric, who gives us a great aerial coast-to-coast play and seals the deal with what looks like a 0-degree goal to put CU just 1 point further in the lead.
Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful aerial goal.
Could have said it better myself. Look at how Lyric creates space. And the accuracy. Does it get any better than that?
It really doesn't.
For this next clip, we're jumping over to a Smash crew battle where things are looking good. All 3 players alive on both sides, and Bounce with 3 stocks against their opponent, Sam Kalta. Bounce finds an amazing snipe off stage to guarantee Sam's first stock be taken off the board, putting Bounce's team in the lead.
But that nice neutral B off
Beautiful
stage.
snipe. You love to see that one.
Week number 3 was the week of Rocket League, the week of CU in particular. Lyric, just when you think this team can't come out any stronger, finds a 3-second goal against CMCC that just showed the dominance CU was willing to come out with here in week 3.
We are 3
Oh my god.
seconds into game
You don't get
number
much better
2.
than that. That was awesome.
Oh man, that was beautiful. Ceramics, pedal to the metal right there. Foot on the gas pedal.
With a 1-round lead on Ascent, SUNY Canton was feeling a little bit shaky, and it was up to Lil J to make some big moves.
You got dash. Not gonna go for it. Get all the way out of that one and fake the dash away so they know about him close. Well, the Roomba will give it away. Has tucked the nade though, so definitely gonna stay alive.
Party's
Okay,
over.
good. All right.
Spike down B.
Jinx, bro. Yummy a soda now.
Love that.
Oh, the timing.
I like the gust.
One enemy remaining.
Ace.
Fantastic Lil J ace on its way. Happy to have it. 5-3. Sunny Canton.
Things were looking bleak for the University of Kentucky on the 5th and final map, but the momentum started to shift when Klaus decided the chaos needed to end a little quicker.
Who just won't be able to survive on the point all that long. Yurik finds Rimru. High noon for 3 for Klaus at the last possible second to secure a cap and buy them a stay of execution.
And with that, folks, ECAC highlights of Week 3 have come to a close. Let me tell you, it's been a pleasure getting to reminisce on all these fantastic moments with you. Check your posture, drink some water, don't forget to love each other, and we'll see you next time.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna
jumped into it.
This corner judge is good for 1, 2, yeah. He needs more.
They're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. Collins walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back for week number 4 of the ECAC Top 8 Plays of the Week. Now, at this point, you're probably realizing 2 things. 1, that's right, I'm going to be with you all season long as we jump through the best moments of every week. And number 2, wow, Septilence really only wears one thing when he's not on the clock. And I can't even defend myself, it's a comfortable outfit. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into week number 4 and see what these players brought to the table to beat out their opponents and be victorious. Wake Forest was already up a game, there were 4 minutes left on the clock, and they just couldn't find that first point to take the lead and put them up 2-0 in the series. But in a final moment of success, Malone clears it from one coast to another and finds an open goal, giving Wake Forest the lead once again.
These Champ 3 and Champ 2 is doing. I mean, seriously, look at Malone making advantages for himself.
Wow.
And he will put Wake Forest on the map. This game number 5 could just go their way.
I just want to say Malone just said, I'm going to show you what a Champ 3 can do. All right, buddy?
On a control map in Overwatch, your team must capture 100% of a point to succeed. 99 just won't cut it. King Rock from Keene University was fully aware of that and didn't just find a Death Blossom. He found a full-blown Death Garden to keep his team alive.
Sound barrier to go away as well, especially now that you have your own. It's going to be a little bit more breathing room. Doesn't look like the Winneco. Okay, there we are. Now it's coming up big. This Reaper has bloomed.
That was just gorgeous amount of patience coming.
GVSU Blue found themselves up by 5 rounds, and it's always better to turn that 5 into a 6. It's incredible, however, that this team doesn't always need all 5. It can come down to just one player and how much they can really GVS do.
And Illusion delivers with efficiency. 3 in a row. No time left, even if they had the chance at orbital strike out of the last.
This battle between Muskingum and St. Francis was insanely close. Only 3 players in a round, and there were 1 player left on both sides, both down to their final stock. Things were looking pretty strong for St. Francis. Their Luigi only at 40%, but it was up to Splat to do anything but.
Just keep him off stage with that Zare. Oh, that spot right here for Teo.
If that block didn't disappear,
oh
no way.
Oh, just steps on the
pressure plate.
A tale as old as time, Pace White versus Pace Gold, and Pace White's morale was through the roof as they won a fight, but little did they know, this was Lofi's world, and they wouldn't be living in it for much longer.
Going in with the blade.
Uh-oh, Blade is out. It's hacked. It doesn't matter, though. Slashes away for 2. Looking for a 3rd. Looking for 4. Won't get it just yet on the Blade. However, the slash and dash works out. Lofi's got 3. Looking for everybody else on this team. It's a White.
The Inkling versus Ganondorf matchup is not very good for Ganondorf, but let's be honest, which matchups are? In this clip, we're going to be watching as JD from Fisher learns the hard way that you never really want to meet an Inkling off stage.
Sooner if you don't find that kill confirm or that kill or a bomb off stage like that.
That bomb angle
guarding is so good today.
Yeah, that bomb angle was beautiful.
Week 4 of ECAC Rocket League was absolutely insane. CMU and FC were tied up 0-0, but it was Gand who told FC they shall not pass game number 2.
Side of FC, they've only got 1 player for a moment there. They're trying to recollect, they're trying to reposition, but how do you position around a pinpoint accurate shot like this? Gand goes crossbar down for the first goal.
Adams in reverse, backed the defense off with that.
Whenever I'm on the mic for Valorant, you'll often hear the line, check your corners, repeated over and over and over again. And even with me not on the mic to tell them, I have a feeling this team may have learned that lesson.
Nah, he's got to take the shot.
Take it.
Oh yeah, just sounds of teammates running on through and come on dive. The 4K on a completely unaware trio. And it's 11-0 right now.
And those are the top 8 moments we thought deserved just a little bit more time in the spotlight of week number 4 here at ECAC. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in what ECAC has going on, we got something happening nearly every day of the week. So check us out right here. Editor, it's a challenge for you. Wink, wink. And folks, this has been all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy this, and we've got plenty of weeks down the line. Can't wait to see what comes of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to the CECC Last Chance Qualifier. The Dark Knights are headed to Arlington, and headed over to the desk is Nightmare himself. A chance to talk to the representative of our program who played a dang good series. What's going on?
I'm just feeling happy, feeling hyped. We had a good series, good tournament run. I'm happy to get to Texas.
That's what I like to hear. And talking about this tournament run, let's really paint a picture here, right? So 55 teams come into this bracket. You know, it's the last chance to make it to that May Madness International. And tell me, how did you feel? What were the nerves like going into a bracket of this caliber?
We were excited that it was split east-west. I believe a lot of good teams. East side is pretty stacked too, but seeing as we had to face Fisher and also Mizzou in our side of the bracket, it was a bit of a rough side, and we were hoping to face Esports actually from the west, coming from the west side, but luckily there were some goats on the other side of the bracket that took them down for us, so happy about that.
Yeah, well, I think that would have been an incredible matchup as well, but the matchup we did get, coming into the matchup against you, Alberta, you guys really haven't played this team. Obviously, I mean, a Canadian team, there's not a lot of crossover in a budget. So the game plan going in, was it clear, or were you guys kind of just saying, listen, we'll see what they give us and then we'll go from there?
Last night, I believe, after we won, and a bunch of my teammates stayed up late to see who was going to win on the west side of the bracket. They saw U Alberta won and looked through a bit of maps. I believe they found St. Clair's that they played in, and we kind of realized like their worst maps were our best maps, and they can't really ban all of them. So we knew that they were going to pick Pearl against us, and that was the strongest map. And we don't practice Icebox, but they let it through, and we saw how that went. But
well, alrighty then. That's a bit of a yikes for you, Alberta. Play some let's talk though, because I didn't know who was in game leading when we got this game, but right before you came in the room, I was saying whoever the leader is deserves the MVP, and you told me that that's actually you. Talk to me about Pearl and just the calls that was being made there, because it seemed like no matter what, you guys were going to the right site or we were on the right site when they were on the offense.
Yeah, we practice Pearl a lot. We get a lot of like tier 2 scrims on Pearl. We have that down to a T with the way NRG plays the comp and the way most of Brazil plays the comp, I believe. And yeah, just like using my years of IGLing, just kind of seeing like, okay, there's a certain round where I knew that like they were just playing the game scared, and after that it's kind of easy to snowball in effect. Our eco round after we lost pistol, I believe, on defense, had the funny call of everybody
practice the map. How were you able to 13-1 them?
I believe Icebox is all about fundamentals and just keeping mental up, making sure everybody's playing well. We had the momentum going into the map, so I knew everybody was gonna like do their job, play well, not overheat as much. We had a few rounds on Pro where we overheated. I just eliminated all that on Icebox.
As it comes off of a team firing on all cylinders, right? And that doesn't just come with players like Pashko, a player that 2 days ago we saw on stream 18 kills in the first 8 rounds. Players like Scotty, the #1 killjoy statistically throughout this entire event. The whole team really ticking. What makes that team, what makes the heartbeat beat so strongly in your camp?
Honestly, we have a lot of rough personalities. We clash sometimes, but I think every time we clash, we come out 2 times better, and we've clashed a lot. So I think we're very strong right now, and we're looking to have a very good rest of this tournament, and hopefully we take it all the way to Texas and win that.
Sure. Well, I don't think teams want to clash with you guys on the exterior. That's for sure. Or it leads to a 13-1 as well. You off? Do you have any final words? Any thanks you want to throw out before we let you go celebrate the victory?
I just want to say thank you to my teammates first and foremost, just putting all their trust in me coming into this tournament, cooking up comps that I came up with the day before and we had no practice with. Just very big thanks to them. They gave me everything and I give them everything back. And just want to say Dark Knights Rising, let's get it and let's win Texas.
Hey, best of luck to you and Texas. Congratulations on the one and only bid coming out of the LCQ.
Thank you so much.
Wow. A player who's been on this roster in the in-game leaderboard for just 1 month is going to Texas. Vincent, what about it?
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of good insight in that. I mean, and just to see the confidence is so much fun to watch. That suggests to me that this Dark Knights roster is just gonna become more and more fun. And I think that if they play with the swagger and the moxie they did today, they could just about beat any team.
Stadium, Arlington on May 6th and 7th. Now, if you can't be there in person, all the is right.
As well that
That's
can
right.
translate out of this experience in esports. The only path is not just as a player. I think all of us are representative of jobs in esports, but it mirrors traditional sports in pretty much the same way. You've got broadcasters, you've got production people, you've got marketing and sales, and now the future workforce and leaders of tomorrow. And, us as well as all of our brand partners that we work with really recognize this. And I think that's really, a key driver of why brands are in this space. They want to be part